Hi, it's Dr. Parikh, and we're talking about Module 4 now. So we are right kind of in that halfway point in the semester. You are probably feeling a lot more than halfway done with the paper. And so now we're really focused on finishing up that literature review, and you're also, while you're doing that, you're also orienting toward getting things worked on with your research proposal. And there's a lot of overlap because the way I've structured this course is that you are doing so much drafting and outlining and sort of sketching things out at the beginning so that I can give you feedback before you get too far. And so it takes so long to ramp up to actually write the section that you kind of start on it 1 week and finally have a full draft of it a week or two later, even in this accelerated course. So things, there's so much lag time built in that you're really, at this point in the course, it may feel a little overwhelming just tracking everything because you're working on so many different things at one time. As you start doing things with your research proposal, I'm also telling you, maybe you should write this in a different document. Whereas earlier on, I kept saying, yeah, write this all in your, just write it in the template, just get one paper going. Well, now so many things change for the research proposal that I start telling you, no, keep this separate for now because you need to be able to keep changing and editing that literature review document and keeping this a little separate. So readings and videos, you're starting to have a little bit fewer videos, a little bit fewer readings from Sukhman. It started, this section is already starting to kind of wind down, and you're getting fewer videos from me in general. Learning activities, you start with your 6 discussion questions, pretty similar to usual. You have 2 reading discussions. You have one that's just sort of a check-in, how are things going? And hopefully by now you can actually be kind of honest with your group and say on weeks that you're sort of on top of the world, like, yes, things are coming together. I had some great productive reading time. And other weeks when you're like, yeah, I really need to start scheduling time because I'm running out of time. I'm not able to do it. My computer is being incredibly slow. There we go. You still have some things from the Orange Book. You're actually now, you're finishing up with the literature review part, and you're starting out with the scientific paper or writing about an experimental paper part. You're also trying to talk about how do you report on statistics. You are writing, you're writing the big pieces of your literature review, and you're peer reviewing that with someone else. You're also now doing kind of the last part that you write for your literature review are the summary paragraphs. Those are 4 paragraphs where they're each a little distinct, and in the template I try to give you the flavor for each one. I expect them to be distinct, but they're each a little bit different. As a reminder, each assignment has a very detailed rubric. Make sure you're looking at that rubric, so you when you get your grades, don't just look to see what your score was, actually go in and look at your rubric because that's the main way I give you feedback. That's the only way I can really keep up with the number of assignments that I give you. That's the way I can give you feedback so often is because I've built these rubrics that give you really detailed feedback. So for example, one of the pieces of the rubric is I look at whether your roadmap paragraph is following the same pattern but being distinct, setting itself apart from other pieces. And you can see sometimes things are all worth about the same amount. Sometimes they're worth, so for example, your tone is worth twice as much as avoiding slang. So you can look at different things and see what's worth points. And you can see, you'll see over time, some of these show up again in your literature review final paper. So make sure you're looking at your rubric. And now you should have your research question nailed down, and you are starting to develop sections. So the present study is where you transition from the literature review into your kind of scientific part, and you're outlining your method. So you're outlining what specifically your study is going to do. So that is this week. It's this kind of transition time. You are doing really meaningful work on your research proposal, but you haven't actually finalized your literature review yet. So it can feel like you're spread a little thin, but hopefully it helps that the readings and videos are starting to get a little less. And you hopefully you're kind of getting into the swing of writing, figuring out what time of day, what time of the week works for you. Just make sure you keep scheduling plenty of time, because when you fall behind, it's so hard to dig your way out. Thanks. Bye.